In this video, I'm going to go over how to build discipline and accomplish your goals. When it comes to our goals, our dreams, everyone has aspirations. Everyone. But the weird part is there's people who are smarter, who come from a privileged background, yet none of that seems to make a difference to who actually succeeds in life. How come we hear all these stories of people who come from the roughest conditions, the roughest upbringings, who seem to accomplish their wildest goals? Everybody in the world wants to be a top performer. Most people want to be rich, smart, strong, and every single year, millions, if not billions of people actually try to commit to their goals. They're hot off the start. They have the fire under them to get them going, but eventually life will get in the way. They'll start skipping sessions here and there. They'll stop working on their goals, and eventually they'll just give up. If that sounds like you, you're probably relying on motivation. You're doing what I used to do. Motivation will not get you to your goals. Discipline will. Then the question lies, well, how do you become disciplined? And that's why I created this video, so you can have all the steps to actually build discipline once and for all, so you can crush your goals. Step 1, identify your goal, but focus on the system. Here's a pretty cool quote. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. That's from James Clear, one of the big productivity gurus of our time. The system is steps that will lead you to your goals. These are tasks which you can do daily or weekly. For example, let's say your goal is to lose 50 pounds of fat. Your system then would be, don't eat over 1,500 calories per day. All you need to do is focus on not eating over 1,500 calories every single day, and that's it. Don't focus on anything else. Just focus on that system. And as a pro tip, your environment is a big part of your system. So make sure your environment actually fits the goal you want to accomplish. We're using that weight loss example. You wouldn't want to have any desserts, snacks, or anything like that in your environment. You should get rid of those. If you end up accomplishing your daily task consistently, you will eventually end up to the goal. With time, the goal will be there and you will accomplish it, but your main focus will still be the system. The goal will inevitably be accomplished just by sticking to it. For example, if you were to always eat up to the 1,500 calorie limit, you will lose weight. It's inevitable. Focusing on the system also helps in that each day that you actually do your daily actions, you have a successful day. You feel good about yourself. But if you thought about it the other way around, where your goal is to lose 50 pounds, every day you'll feel like a failure till you actually lose the weight. So that's why it's important to focus on the system, because it also has that psychological benefit that you feel like a winner every day you accomplish your task, opposed to having this far out goal that you never accomplish till you get there, which could take a really long time, and that's hard on your mental fortitude. Systems also help you in that they identify what you need to be doing daily instead of having this broad goal in mind like in your to-do list. Additionally, when it comes to having a system, it's really about having actionable daily tasks. And without having a system and actionable tasks, your goal is really just a dream. Step 2, you need to have your system time blocked. Have a scheduled time for it. For example, 6 to 7 is when you study. Think about it like a second job. Once you know that clock hits 6, you go and study. 9 to 5 is when you do your job. And 6 to 7 is when you do your you job, when you're actually trying to work on yourself. Just clock in and clock out. Don't leave it for when you're free, because let's be honest, if you don't have it scheduled in, you'll never end up doing it. You'll always find something else to do with your time and you'll ignore the system. Step 3 is have a pre-routine. You want to do something fun immediately before the hard task, before the system. For example, for studying, I first listen to music, then I'll journal, and then after all that pre-routine is done, I'll actually study. This is easy because it eases you into it. Think about it like a train. The hard part is getting the wheels to turn, to move, but once that train is moving, that momentum will propel it forward. So if you can ease into things, you'll build up momentum, so the task itself seems a little bit easier, and it kind of gets over that mental hurdle of being scared of starting. Step 4, start small. For example, if your goal is to run a marathon, the system would then be, maybe I should run for 45 minutes. That's what you see other marathon runners do, right? But you'd actually be wrong. What you should do instead is the first week, maybe take a walk, then after a couple weeks, incorporate some jogging, then after a couple more weeks, you would then actually start running. You don't want to start too big. There's no point in burning yourself out in the first week. Even if you truly believe you're the type of guy that can run, off the bat, first session, get a 45-minute run in, don't do it. What ends up happening is you'll get super sore, your mind's gonna learn to hate it, your body's gonna hate it, and you're never gonna wanna perform the system again. You build up resentment. So you really wanna build that habit before you do anything else. The habit is like the foundation of a house. You can't actually start building the discipline of the house until you have that foundation laid down. So don't start too much too soon. There's no point in giving up week 1 because you overworked yourself, you burnt yourself out, and you learned to hate the system. Step 5, have a predetermined plan B and a plan C. Inevitably, you will have something come up. You're gonna have a vacation, family visiting, whatever the case is, something's gonna end up coming up. What I used to do, I'd skip for the week or I'd put it off to the side, and this is a huge mistake. You're gonna lose all the momentum you built. Remember like that train example? The really hard part is starting. It's building the momentum. So why would you purposely hit the brake? If you hit the brake and you skip that week, a week turns into a month, and honestly, you're just really damaging your routine. That's why it's really important to have a plan B and C ahead of time. A plan B is where you have a shorter version of your true sessions. For example, working out, you cut it in half. Plan C, this is a frictionless version, a version where you can do anywhere at any time. Having that plan B and C ahead of time will ensure you can keep the momentum alive, which once more, like that train example, super important. Additionally, when it comes to having this plan B and C, you need to write them down. Really have them in your back pocket, because if you try to think about them when that vacation comes up, you're too late. You're gonna end up skipping. So really have those way ahead of time before you ever even need them. I'm gonna give you an example of a plan B and C scenario that I use myself. So for plan B, the version to cut the time in half, the system is working out my back once a week. My plan B, the time saver version, I usually do an hour workout. In the plan B, instead of doing 9 sets, I do 4, which cuts the workout in half. This allows me to do my workout when I'm extremely busy or when something comes up last minute. My plan C in this example, which has 0 friction, is just doing 3 sets of pull-ups. This is frictionless because I can do this if I can't leave the house. I can do this if I'm on vacation. It doesn't matter. I can get it done literally anywhere. I have different scenarios for different body groups such as chest, bicep, triceps, and I use these all the time. There's literally 0 excuses. If you have that plan B and C ahead of time, you can get your workout done from anywhere. I'm not even kidding. You can literally do a plan B and C at any moment. I've actually done a workout when I had an overnight layover at the airport. Not even joking. I'll put a clip of it up here so you can see for yourself. There's 0 excuses if you're committed enough and you have that discipline and you have this cool trick to have that plan C ahead of time. Pro tip, you can use a plan B and C when you feel unmotivated. It's not just for being busy or out of town. The cool part about that is sometimes your workouts might actually turn into some of your best. Step 6 and the last step, monitor and track your progress. This is really important because it keeps you accountable and makes you aware. For example, if you had a bad day, you kind of have that regret, you feel a little guilty, and you know next time you got to do better because you don't want to put those low numbers up on the board. And if you had a great day, you start seeing micro improvements in your numbers, and then you feel motivated and you have that discipline and passion to keep going. So that helps you push through that hurdle. So no matter what, always track and monitor. If you follow all of these 6 steps, you will become a more disciplined person. You're going to change your life just like I did. Remember, the important part of discipline is to think that consistency, to take action, those systems in place. Because if you have the systems in place, you're going to build habits, and habits is what builds discipline. Just stick to it, just show up every day, and you really will get there. You're going to be a changed man, and it's going to change your life just like it changed mine. When it comes to this video, this is all about actionable steps, but I also made a video to kind of preface this one, where in that video, I talk about the mentality change you need to make before you take on these steps. So I highly encourage you watch that video, implement that mentality, get that mental fortitude, and then take on these actual steps. It should be titled How I Went From Lazy to Discipline, and you can too. Okay guys, hopefully this video was very helpful. It was a pleasure to make, and as always, I'll see you on the next one, and make sure to leave a comment and like. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and till the next one.